It'll be one to go this time by. Coming to the green, buddy, coming to the green. Let's go get him. Go, 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 go.
Get your motor running. Head out on the highway.
Give him 30 seconds.
Yeah. Let me have a follow-up on a more technical question. When you were in here earlier today, you were kind of hang-dog about how your car was running. Casey, when he was in here for the All-Star Week, said, "Oh man, my car's garbage in practice," and then the car seemed to jump up. So there seems to be more guys who go from having cars that are not the way they want to really good, and then falling off. Have you noticed that, or has your car been more consistent?
Well, the thing with this new car is it's really particular. You know, I mean, just minute adjustments really take it here or there. And you can be off a 16th or an eighth of an inch and just feel like your whole car changed. You know, you can change a quarter. I mean, we were changing quarter pounds of air pressure at Richmond, you know, and guys have been doing half pounds and quarter pounds and this and that in and out of the tires. I think I heard Casey Mears say that he changed a pound of air in the right front tire, went from plowing tight to wrecking loose, you know, so at Darlington. So it's just, I mean, this car is so finicky and so touchy that anything that you do to it really kind of throws you all off on balance. And so I think a lot of that has to do with just the technical procedure that NASCAR has you go through, that every little thing, there's so much little leeway now that if you've got a car that's perfect and fits all those parameters just right, you're going to be the guy to beat. And it's hard to make that happen every single time you go on the racetrack.
Go to Dustin and David and Claire. Go ahead, Dustin.
Dustin Long, Landmark Newspapers. Kyle, even though you didn't get to run the finish of the All-Star race, did you go back and watch how that finished? And I'm just curious about, there was a situation where Casey Kane didn't have tires and won, as opposed to Greg Biffle with 2 tires couldn't make the run up. Seeing that, does that, maybe you're not making all the pit calls, you're letting Steve do that, but how does that kind of play in the back of your mind as you start thinking about strategy or thinking about things going into Sunday's race?
See, that really surprised me, watching Biffle as strong as he was throughout much of the race and leading the laps that he did after I fell out in the third segment. And, you know, it surprised me because I figured, okay, well, Biffle, who's coming in and putting on 2 rights, he'll start far enough forward where he'll be able to come back through here, you know, but it never transpired that way. And Casey, who started up front, I think, had to pass Denny had his issues, and he kind of inherited the lead and then won the race. But, you know, it looked like nobody could really pass the leader, per se. And, you know, I think hopefully that doesn't happen on Sunday, but if it's in the best interest for me, then I hope it does happen that way, because then I can start up front and just go. But I was pretty surprised by that. I did go back and watch the last segment and see what happened, because I heard Casey Kane won on the way home, and I'm like, what? Casey Kane, where'd he come from? And then I watched it, and I'm like, that's how you do it.
Well, David, Jim Peltz. Excuse me, David, Claire, Jim Peltz. Go ahead.
Not that this has made the slightest bit of difference in the way your year's gone, because basically you'd led 1 lap at Darlington in your life and you won that race. But you've never finished on the lead lap of the Coca-Cola 600. I don't mean to be the bearer of bad tidings unless you never knew that. But Casey and Brian, this is a track where they always seem to run better than they usually were running. Even when they've been running bad, they run better here. In your case, this has not been the best track for you over the years, whether it's luck or whatever. Are there tracks that, I mean, maybe it's not in your head, but are there tracks where you just feel like you struggle out more than you do, you some other place? And how does that all work in your mind?
Well, actually, this is probably my favorite racetrack. Just growing up watching the races here on TV, I loved watching the All-Star race under the lights and the 600 and all the sparks flying and everything, and all the guys going after hard-fought, hard-racing wins. And so the Nationwide Series has been good to me here. The Truck Series has been pretty good to me here, and it's just the Cup Series has kind of eluded me here. You know, I finished third, I think, in the 500 here last fall, but besides that, I don't think I finished in the top 20. So it's been kind of a struggle here for me. And like you said, yeah, I did know that I've only finished like 1 race here without having problems, without wrecking or something. In that race, I think I was 2 or 3 laps down in 32nd or something like that. But it's been a struggle here in the 600 for whatever reason. Just I can't ever get to when the lights turn on. I always wreck when the daytime's still here, and I do the same thing at Homestead. So I need to change that around and try to fix that here this weekend.
Claire, and then Jim Peltz.
Albie Wheeler is very complimentary of you, and he likes talking about you. And he said that you don't change your driving style, based on other drivers calling you over, that through history there have been drivers that have called drivers and then yelled at him or talked to him, and then the guy gets intimidated and he changes, and he says you haven't done that, and he likes that. You have a good relationship with him, but what would you say about that?
Well, I appreciate Humpy's values and what he's been able to do for this sport here at this racetrack in particular, but he's a cool dude. I've had some conversations with Humpy. I've had a few Lowe's get-togethers over here when I was in the nationwide stuff in 2004, and he brought me in his office after we were done with those, and we sat down and chit-chatted for a couple hours or whatever. And so, Humpy's a pretty cool dude, and I really enjoy spending time with him and stuff, and when he walks down pit road and all that. So, fortunately for me, he's on my side, I guess. I don't know, but it's fun to talk with Humpy and hear the stories that he has and stuff. But all the values that he's had and all of what he's learned over the years, that he can say that about me means a lot. So I appreciate it.
Go ahead.
Jim Peltz, the LA Times. Kyle, I don't know if you could hear it, but when you crossed the line on your run, this roar went up from the crowd that we could hear in here. Do you think that in spite of everything that's been said and written about you in recent weeks and so forth, that you're still earning respect among fans based on your performance?
Well, I would certainly hope so, definitely. But when we won when we got quick time there, I think a lot of it just has to do with they like seeing cars go fast. So whoever was the fastest guy, they're like, yay, he was the fastest guy. Because when you listen to, and let's welcome our new pole sitter here, Kyle Busch, whatever, boo. So, I mean, it's like a light switch, man. I mean, it was just like, man, I couldn't even get to that light switch over there fast enough. So you'll have that. But to me, it don't matter. I mean, it's great that they recognize the on-track stuff, and I guess they just don't like who I am as a person, which is fine. They don't know me, so I'll just go on and do my business and keep winning races, hopefully.
Any more questions for Kyle? We got one right here.
Just kind of related to that is just going back to the All-Star event with the driver introductions. What was it like to do the bow with your teammates, and just that type of reaction, and then even riding around the truck as you're a little bit closer to the fans, and your team gets to sense and feel what you go through most weeks?
You wouldn't believe. We need a camera on my team from that All-Star ride around the racetrack. They were doing more egging on than I've ever seen anybody else do in my entire life. So I know where I get it from. I don't make it up. They do it for me. But no, I mean, they were even doing it when we were pushing the car from pit road. We were getting more cheers than I've ever heard, and because we were going backwards on pit road. And the guys were egging them on. One of them's like putting his hat up in the air, and the other one's like, yeah, keep digging or whatever. I don't know, but the guys enjoy it. I mean, they think it's funny. They love it. So as long as we're getting along and doing things on the racetrack that are propelling us forward, and we're winning races and stuff, and we can all get along, we can joke about it in here. But to us, it's just it's fun to go out there, I guess, and play it up a little bit and have some fun. It just means that they're in it for the long haul with me. They're standing behind me, and that's all that matters to me most, is to have my guys, and not necessarily just my guys, but JGR stand behind me, and not just JGR, but all the sponsors too. And so, Billy Blue Motorsports, all those guys, they're behind me. Braun Racing over here today, all those guys, they're behind me. So they know that I guess we can go out there and we've got the best shot at winning if we've got a good car. But besides all that, I mean, with the Cup guys, I mean, they're just a ball of fire right now. They feel like they're on top of the world, which they should feel that way because they work so hard and they're getting the result that's paying off for them. And so we're pretty excited to be in the place that we're in.
Go ahead.
Kind of along the same lines, when you have all the boos and the jeers and you have all that, does that motivate you even more to go out there and win, or is that just something, like you said, you just kind of laugh at?
It just happens. I mean, it's kind of funny. You laugh at it and you smile and you wave and you do what's right and stuff. But, deep down it might hurt a little bit. But you just go out there and do what you can on the racetrack in order to make it right. And, they'll make all the noise and carry on and do what they want to do. But when you go out there and you're the one in victory lane and getting to hold that trophy and drink the champagne, that's the sweetest taste ever.
Kyle, thanks a lot for coming in.
All right, guys. Thank you.